is that Mansell just seems, and he's just a wild guy with not much brains. Yeah. Very unpredictable, but whereas, you know, Raylan's best nemesis have been guys who have some good level of intelligence. They don't necessarily use it well, don't always have good sense how they employ it, but, you know, someone like Boyd Crowder, you know, or, you know, there's some other ones that they have some intelligence, and therefore you feel like there's more of a give and take there between the two.
Yeah, even Daryl Crow Jamal, Jr. had a plotting sort of, like, he had the ability to sort of plot. He wasn't very good at it, but he did have the ability to plot and plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we haven't seen that from Mansell yet, to your point. There's been no, you know, effort really to plan. He relies on others to do the planning. He's more of an execution guy, and by execution, I mean like literal execution.
Yeah. Which makes him, and I think that makes him kind of like not as good of a character, I think, as far as in the story. I think more interesting is Jamal. You know, you don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy, or, you know, his motivations, and that's kind of unfolding over these episodes. Whereas Mansell is, as you guys are saying, he's just the blunt instrument.
Yeah, characters who are morally conflicted, or at least have lines that they would appear to not cross, and then when they do, it's a big deal, are always more interesting than characters that are entirely amoral, right?
Yeah.
I think that we can get that from, again, to reference back to The Sopranos, right? Tony Soprano is an interesting character, not because he's entirely amoral, but because there is some level of ethics or responsibility, or there's something there that restrains his id from running wild, unlike Mansell, who is entirely unrestrained.
And they've done that. I mean, that's the way they advertised, or not advertised, but that's his character, is the unrestrained.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's character in the book too, is the same thing. So it translates better on paper, I think, but I don't know.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So Kokomo, worst Beach Boys song or best Beach Boys song?
Worst.
I wouldn't say it's the worst, but there's no way it's the best.
Yeah.
And I say this as someone who long has had Pet Sounds on my list of Desert Island. You know, if you had your list of 5 or 10 albums you had to take with you to Desert Island, the Pet Sounds has long been on that list for me. So,
but you consider it good. Okay.
I consider it a good song. I wouldn't put it anywhere near into the Beach Boys pantheon.
Sure.
But if you're listening to it as just a song, you're not thinking of it as a Beach Boys song, just as a fun song, it's fine.
Yeah. I do like that they paid to license the song, so they just played the whole damn thing. We'll just play 2.5 minutes of it because, you know, we paid for it. We got to pay for it no matter what. So I did like that. Let's see. I don't think I have. Oh, I did like Clement's assessment of the flood in Sandy's apartment as a white man's problem. I thought that was because it's the landlord's problem and not hers. I thought that was pretty funny. I also wonder who he's going to sell that art to that he stole from Bulldozer Burt. He came back and grabbed that painting off the wall. What the hell is he going to do with that painting? Like, he doesn't know. I'm sure he doesn't know a fine art fence in the Detroit area.
I don't think he knows a fine art person anywhere.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Well, I do wonder why he was drawn to it in particular, right? What's the draw for him?
Well, I wondered about that too, but then I looked a little bit more closely. That farmhouse looks like, if you go back and look at the story he told about his mom being sucked up by the tornado, it looks sort of like the setting for that tornado that she got sucked up by. So the farmhouse in that painting looks sort of like that, which, you know, potentially, and again, I might be giving the writers a little bit too much credit here, but, You know, you never know. They haven't let us down before. So there could be a tie that story might actually be real that he told Skender. It just didn't happen to Sandy and him. It happened to him. And so it kind of reminded him of home potentially. That's what I thought when I saw it.
Okay.
But,
yeah.
I just took it for he figured he's in a rich guy's house, so everything in the house must be worth something, and that just was the one that caught his eye.
Yeah.
I think he's that simple of a guy.
Yeah, I think you're right about that, right? I think it can very easily, like, that would not surprise me if that was the entire explanation for it. It wouldn't surprise me even a little bit. I'd be far more surprised if there was actually depth to it, but all right. Yeah, I think that's about it. Let's I wanted to comment on Jamal's clothes. That's Tom Brown. Is the designer of that matchy stripy stuff with the suit with the tag on the back collar. That's Tom Brown. So apparently he's a clothes horse. Those things are incredibly expensive.
I thought it was, it was kind of on brand for him to be like, like he's living in that, was he sharing that house with somebody? Was that what it was? But he has like all these clothes that maybe he could have gotten rid of because he's trying to, or maybe was that him sticking Carolyn with the tax lien? Is that what that is?
Well, they got divorced too, right? So yeah. So he took his stuff and moved into that depressing bachelor apartment, and he's got a new girlfriend who's got apparently tig old bitties, which I did like, and I'm like, wait a minute, are you telling me that Carolyn doesn't wear a big bra? Because Carolyn wears a big bra, all right? Like, come on, guys.
That's that Jonah Hill, like that Saturday. That's what I just remember that there's a Saturday Night Live skit where Jonah Hill is like at this beach party in San Diego or something like that, and he's talking like that, like a frat boy, big old biddies.
Tig old biddies. That was good. That was very cute. A very good line, or a very good line in the show. Yeah, I think that covers it. So anything we missed here, Randy or Michael? Any favorite moment, least favorite moment, or something that we just forgot to mention?
I think we covered it on my end. The only thing I would say is just to reemphasize, I think that the Jamal and Carolyn, that chemistry is very powerful, and I think that's probably if you took Raylan out of the picture, I think I would like to see like more of that, the background, and find out more about that relationship.
Yeah, I do too. And I would like to see more Raylan and Jamal at the same time. So I'm actually okay with the whole love triangle thing if it means more Raylan Jamal conversations, like we would have had Raylan Gary conversations, right? Like,
that's fair.
Yeah. I like that sort of thing. I think they, like you said, they had good villain chemistry there.
No, but I'm still left with the notion that since Raylan does not seem to have the chemistry with Carolyn, is it going to lend to the same tension with Jamal that he should have? Because the tension between the two, in the love triangle, the tension between the two rivals is usually going to be driven by the feelings that each one has for that third person.
True.
But if Raylan's whole relationship with Carolyn just seems forced, then they're just going to force the rest of the love triangle tension.
Yeah, and I think that goes directly to, like, is it a writing problem or is it an acting problem, right? Because if it's a writing problem, I think you're dead on, right? That we would see that come out in any interaction related to that relationship with Carolyn. But if it's an acting problem, it's just in that relationship, just in those moments between Carolyn and Raylan, and not in the other areas of the relation or of the other interactions. So maybe we'll find more out. Maybe Jamal's not done with the show, even though it certainly appears that Carolyn has cut him out of her life for good. So, all right. Well, let's get to our final segment here.
I was telling my friends this morning how yesterday you come to me and if you don't get out of town in 24 hours, I'm going to shoot you on sight. Fire in the hole!
go!
Are you gonna shoot him if you catch him?
I'll kill 4 of you before you even clear your weapons, and I'll take my chances with the other 2.
If you get the chance, shoot him in the nuts.
I don't pull my sidearm unless I'm going to shoot to kill.
Are you going to shoot him too, Raylan? And did Raylan actually? You know what? I don't even know. Like, I'm trying to. I have them jumbled in my head. Did Raylan shoot anybody these 2 episodes?
Raylan did not.
Did not. Were there any bodies?
There was. There's a dead Albanian in the street.
Yes, that's
Norbert,
right.
Which, by the way, my money's on that shooting not being clean. I'll just get that on the record right now. There's no way. There's no way that's a clean shooting.
Yeah, like he was like shooting like as he was running away, right?
Well, I think that's what was going on. I think we're going to find out he got shot in the back as he was running away, because they do make a big deal about him yelling "Stop, police!" blah 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 before he shoots. Mm-hmm. They made sure we heard that in the apartment above the street level, to the point where they paused the action in the apartment to make sure we heard it. So I suspect that might come back to play in to the story.
To me, it was a given that he killed him without much justification.
Yeah.
From a legal perspective.
Yeah, I mean he's very obviously trigger happy. He talked about throwing Mansell off a building. Like he's a bad cop.
Yeah, because I think also if there was more of a battle, so to speak, they would have shown that. And the fact that they didn't is just for the dramatic tension, they would have shown it.
That's a great point.
So
yeah.
But I think at the same time they just wanted to write it off. I don't know if I just almost forgot about it already. But I think they're just going to write that part off and move on.
Yeah.
Like Willa.
Yeah, exactly. Just disappears one day. Wasn't there a kid? There's kids on TV shows that happens to pretty regularly. I remember Days of Our Lives that would happen with the kids. They would disappear for like 3 years and then come back and be 15 years older.
well, it's going back. It brings us back to the Happy Days thing. That's the Chuck thing.
That's right.
Chuck Cunningham.
He shows up
just disappeared.
And he just like never referenced again.
He and his basketball just disappeared.
Yeah, that's right. He's probably buried in the Cunningham's basement. Well, I guess Fonzie lives there. Or no, Fonzie lives upstairs. The Cunninghams buried him underneath the house over there.
Fonzie knows how to dispose of a body.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get to the plugs. So Michael, thanks for coming on the show. I think it went absolutely fantastically.
Yeah, that was very good. Very
great.
good.
Great to have.
Thanks for having me. My pleasure.
Insight on Detroit and the criminal law and all of that. So thanks for joining us. Anything you want to plug?
I'm just out there doing my thing. Like I said, my job now is I find missing heirs and inheritance assets. So if anybody needs that help, feel free to reach out to me. I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn, which I know is not usually a platform that gets plugged on TV recap things, but that's where I spend most of my social media time. Or just email me at mzwick, MZWICK, mzwick at assetsinternational.com. And, or if you just want to talk about Justified or Detroit or whatever, let me know.
Awesome. That's mzwick. And they just look for Michael Zwick on LinkedIn or Facebook to find you.
Yeah, I think I've been on both I was one of the probably first Michael Zwicks on both, so I should be easy to find on both of those.
Okay, great. So check that out if you need PI work done around missing heirs or probate assets. So again, thanks for joining us, and you can find out more about our show on our social media. That's at Groundless and at Groundless Pod and at Groundless Podcast. You can email us, groundlesspodcast@gmail.com with your questions and corrections. I'm sure I know I've got a couple corrections that I corrected in line, but I'm sure we'll get to a couple of ones that we didn't correct in line. So please feel free to let us know about that. It's actually legitimately one of our favorite things. Please also don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. So thank